My name is Heather Morris and I serve as the Secretary of Conference with the Methodist Church in Ireland. It's the Thursday of Holy Week and we remember the night in which Jesus was betrayed. Do you remember those days before COVID when we could gather with groups of friends around tables for meals? I remember in Velletri when we sat around tables after our work at EMC was finished and we chatted and laughed and told stories long into the night. On the Thursday of this Holy Week, Jesus gathers his disciples around a table. He knows that it's coming very close to the time of his death. And Jesus has vital things to say to his disciples. But the disciples that night, Jesus' closest friends, aren't even listening. Luke tells it like this in chapter 22 and verse 14. When the hour came, Jesus and his apostles reclined at the table, and he said to them, I've eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I tell you, I will not eat it again until it finds fulfillment in the kingdom of God. And then Jesus takes bread and breaks it and takes the cup and passes it around his friends. And he talks about a new covenant and he talks about blood being shed and body broken. But even those words don't hit home to the disciples that evening. They're far more interested in themselves. And Luke, as he gives this account, tells us that a dispute, an argument breaks out among the disciples about which of them is going to be the greatest. Jesus sits with his friends, with those who are closest to him, in community around a table, coming so close to the time of his death. He tells them that one of them is about to betray him. But there they are, all betraying him, with their jealousy and their selfishness and their jostling for position and their arguments. Jesus shares his last meal with broken people in a broken community. Now, as a Methodist family in Europe, we know that there's brokenness around us. Comparisons about vaccination rates threaten to push us into national corners. Those who are most on the margins remain ignored. We face fear as we face into or face the prospect of a third wave of the virus. We are a broken community. And when we stop long enough to be honest, we know that we are broken people too. In 1998, in a town called Omagh in Northern Ireland, a bomb exploded. And following that atrocity, a CD was produced to raise money for those who had been bereaved. One of the songs, I'm sure that many of you know it, which was released at that time, was called Broken Things by a woman called Juliet Turner. Here are some of the lines. You can have my heart if you don't mind broken things. You can have my heart if you don't mind these tears. But I heard that you make all things new, so I give these pieces back to you. If you want it, you can have my heart. Jesus sits at a table with his friends, and he doesn't turn away from broken things or broken people or broken community. And when he gets up from that table, he goes out into the night to face the cross, so that broken things need not be the end of the story. He faces the cross so that broken things need not be the end of the story. We can look forward in hope. Thanks be to God.